Nakamura. She's a painting artist and research associate at the Research Institute for Languages and Cultures of Asia and Africa at Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. And she will talk, I think, about art coefficient, entanglement, and creativity. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kyoko Nakamura. I am an artist of Japanese painting. My co-author, Yukio, is a researcher of theoretical life science. Today, we would like to talk about entanglement on art, while it is just a metaphor. We understand the notion of art coefficient proposed by Marcel Duchamp can be regarded as entanglement, which can afford the essence of creativity. Art coefficient was proposed by Duchamp, a famous contemporary artist. In 1957, he had a lecture entitled By the Creative Act. On this lecture, he described subjective mechanism underlying creation of art. He called such a mechanism as art coefficient. The art coefficient can refer to the gap between the intention and realization of an artist and outside entering the gap during that time. Traditionally, therefore, the significance of the art coefficient was considered inevitable discrepancy that is required for casual encounter between an artist and viewers. The work was interpreted by viewers independent of the artist's intention. However, the art coefficient is the gap between what artist planned and what artist realizes in the creation of the art. The gap can carry the significance as a trap to capture the outside composed positively. The intrinsic core of art is not artist's intention, but the gap between the intention and realization. The artist must design the art coefficient, which cannot be intentionally controlled. That is nothing but entanglement of the inside and outside of the work. For example, this artwork, Fontaine by Duchamp, its theme is gap itself. Its intention is fountain, but realization is an urinal. Since urinal is ready-made, its use and meaning cannot be changed. We viewers will try to fill the gap between both two, but we cannot. Thus, we always encounter the gap between intention and realization in appreciating an artwork. Viewers attempt to find the fragments outside the explicit world, while outside the explicit world implicitly exists inside the viewers themselves. That is nothing but art. Although intention and realization are independent with each other, they are indivisible and coexist. When intention and realization coexist, the gap appears. That is how artworks come down. Art can be the fragment of the external. In quantum theory, the term entanglement refers to the state of which different pure states are correlated and entangled. In this sense, we can say the art coefficient or creativity as the entanglement. This is my work, Platyplotus. That is my special jargon, which can demonstrate the art coefficient and the process triggered by the art coefficient. Originally, I wanted to express platypus, whose characteristic is entangled, mixed up with many kind animals like birds, and mammals, platypus itself implies a collection of fragments fallen into the gap between my original intention and realization. After that, I finally revealed scenery of platypus swimming in the Japanese lotus lake. Of course, I understand it is impossible since platypus lives in Australia, but I did this because I had feeling of fragments from outside, which was lotus. Even in the process of painting, fragments are fallen into the gap. So this feeling of fragments can be completely useless for other persons except for me. It has no relation to the world and is pure and no meaning. Nothing cannot be exchanged to the feeling. Moreover, the equivalent exchange per se cannot be established because this feeling is completely separated from anything in the world. But I and Yukio think that focusing on heterogeneity is the only way to reach the eternal and universal idea. Platypus per se exists outside of our world and we still cannot catch it. But fragment of platypus can come down to me, so I think I did express the gap which platypus has. Another example is shown from literature written by Nabokov, which is La Veneziana. The story is inspired from the oil painting by Sebastiano del Piombo, this picture. The character of the story goes into this painting and receives the lemon from this Venetian woman in the painting. Actually, this painting is Roman woman, but because of painter was born in Venice, Nabokov wrote this woman as Venetian. Until the middle of story, we understand Nabokov wrote a piece of fantasy, but in the end, we recognize the event of meeting woman in the painting was just a dream which one of character experienced. There are only 5 people in the story. Main character who received the lemon is Simpson. His friend Frank has talented skill on painting and he has father Colonel. Frank and Simpson visit to Colonel's cottage for summer vacation. There are other visitors, Magor and Maureen. Magor and Maureen are married. Magor visited Colonel to sell the old painting of Venetian woman, this painting. In the early part of the story, we recognize Frank and Maureen are in love. Simpson also attracted to Maureen, but when he met the painting, because the Venetian woman and Maureen look alike so much, Simpson's interest gradually changes to the painted Venetian woman. One day, he saw dream of painted Maureen. Venetian woman and Maureen became mixed up with. He waked in midnight and understood that he needed to meet her as soon as possible. He ran to the painting and jumped into the painting. In the painting, real Venetian Maureen gave him a lemon from her basket. When he got it, he felt fear, but it was too late to go out to the real world. Next morning, there was a painting of Venetian woman added with Simpson's portrait. Magor wiped the Simpson off by cloth and threw it away out of the window. Outside of the window, there is Simpson who fell asleep. We understand that everything is a dream, but here Nabokov gives us a problem. Thus, the dry, wrinkled fruit the gardener happened to find remains the only riddle of this whole tale. The gardener picks up the lemon where Simpson was. So, how the lemon came from, and who was the woman, real Venetian Marine, if she was the dream. But then, how and why lemon left in real world? Nabokov also shows the mechanism of creation by entangled different time. First, we read the story of Venetian woman painted in the past, so intention is expressing past. But in the end, Magor tells the truth that the painting was painted by Frank. Frank loves Maureen, so he painted Maureen. That is why both women look alike. Frank might wish to be with Maureen in the future, so real true time of this painting realized story of the future. Past and future time were secretly changed. Magor's clothes was thrown into the future from the past and realized the lemon. There is the entanglement of time happened. Here, new present time is created. This is why readers experience existence of real Venetian Maureen so vividly. She is not a dream. She really exists on each of us. She came from the outside through the gap of entanglement, just as the lemon. We cannot catch her, but only the lemon is what we can do. We may say the lemon is a fragment of the outside which Nabokov received when he first attracted to the painting of Roman woman. Now, Yukio and I try to understand present time can be recognized as Nabokov's lemon. We may say time always comes down from outside through the gap of entanglement. Now I am painting mirage of clams become on shellfish gathering. This is to express the water side which feel good more than reality. Last example is my painting Sawachi dishes, which is I will exhibit in foyer room after this lecture, so you can see next coffee break. And there I can show the entanglement of meal method. Sawachi dish is the traditional meal in Kochi Prefecture, Japan. Ancient purpose to eat Sawachi dish was taking a feast, which is for to meet Shintoism god Kami. Kami is invisible spirit of force that controls natural phenomena or human life and happiness. But now, people doesn't remember the original purpose, so the Sawachi dish became just a party, maybe for celebrating New Year or birthday or anything. There are a strange rule for having Sawachi. We have no order of course dishes, every food on one plate, no rank or order on each food like course dishes, main dish or side dishes. No distinction for men or women or even the children. No distinction of host or guest. There is no main character for me. Sometimes people forget why they held the party. People drink a lot on Sawachi dish, so sometimes there is no distinction for human or food or organism. I can show you a little bit. I held Sawachi dish party last year. This movie takes time a lot, so I show you a little bit.